pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mayor Gerardo Anaya,
Present.
Mayor Luis Galindo,
Present.
Member Jesus Roldan, Councilmember Miguel Villalpando, Councilmember Juan Castillo,
Present.
Councilmember Marta Gonzalez,
Present.
Councilmember Lorena Delgadillo.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on, call to the public. Anybody from the public wishing to address council?
Marta Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Marta Gonzalez, 641 West 12th Place here in Somerton. Tonight, I was approached by Somerton High School to introduce the Somerton High School girls soccer team. The soccer team had a very good season this year. They only lost 2 games, and for being a freshman soccer team, that's pretty good, being that they went against JV, varsity, and freshman teams. So I just wanted to take a minute to introduce them and recognize them for their season, have some awards for them, and I'm gonna introduce the coach, Rex.
Hello, my name is Rex Glenn. Where do I go? Right there. Got it. So I grew up here in Somerton. I spent most of my life doing karate here for my master, Alfonso Porches, who's one of the great teachers out here. He taught me and gave me the hunger for trophies and trying to always give my best to win. I grew up working for my father as well. He's had his business here for about 60 years. And he told me what it meant to do the hard work and how that will bring in all of the trophies. Very briefly, I just want to say I'm very thankful to be here. I want to thank Marta for having us here as well. And thank you guys for having us here. I want to just recognize this special group of 14 young ladies that came up to the pitch and showed me how they could be successful working as a team, coming together without actually being together before to play at any other organization. I want to recognize that these 14 set of players, they won 6 games out of the 9 games. They won 6. They tied 2 games, and they only lost 1 game out of against every high school here in Yuma County. They were the only team with only freshmen playing the freshman sophomore league, and they managed to beat every other high school in this Yuma Union High School district. Now to move on with our certificates, let me introduce our team players. Let me start with our forward, Susana Castillo. Our goalie, Charlene Cordova. Our winger, Haley Escobar. She's not here either. Our defender, Leslie Escobar. Our second goalie, Kaylin Garcia. She's not here either. Our captain and center mid, Jocelyn Lopez. Our striker, Annette Mena. For duo, our right wing, Arlene Mena. Our left back, Diane Mena. Center mid, Lisa Nunez. Ruiz, who's not here either. Defender who's not here either, Valeria Salomon. Brianna Vera, who's not here either. And lastly, our most improved players, Eileen Villarreal.
Mayor, if we can have just a little minute for a picture.
Okay. ¿Lo bajamos? Aquí, sí.
Okay, I'm gonna go first and then parents can go.
Yes,
1, 2, 3, cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Can I have the girls one step to your left? Yeah, just like there you go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese. One more. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Thank you. Parent.
Before your parents.
I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. 1, 2.
Congratulations on a great season and go Toros. You guys are welcome to stay or you leave. You won't hurt my feelings, so you can stay for the whole 2 hours.
The kids can go, but the parents have to stay.
The parents have to stay.
He can't drive, he's a minor.
Anybody else from the public wishing to address council? There's no one. We have another special guest, Stephanie Garcia, fifth grader from Encanto Learning Center.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, Jasmine Zamudio, Economic Development. Today I present you Stephanie Garcia, student from Encanto Learning Center, recognized as the first place winner of a writing contest highlighting the city of Somerton. Here is Stephanie with her exceptional writing and to present her essay.
Good morning, Mayor and Council meeting. My name is Stephanie and I live at 653 West Patricia Street. I am here to present my award-winning essay, The Astounding City. Do you know an astounding city named Somerton? The delightful city is Arizona and one of the best states in US ever. This small city is a great provider for all of their community. Also, their entertainments are the things that make this small city so wonderful. Somerton has a lot of advantages over big cities because it is a good provider for the community. It provides a low living cost, for example, a low rent, affordable gasoline. Education is very important for the community. That's why Somerton counts on an elementary, middle school, and a brand new high school. You can even find great supermarket auto stores, car washes, gyms, and gas stations. This small city is a very good option for people who want to invest in a small local business. We have amazing varieties of local stores such as Where's My Boba, where you can find delicious drink and food. Also, Azúcar has scrumptious coffee and milkshakes. The city has everything you'll need to have an amazing experience in Somerton. This small city has fabulous entertainment for all ages. For example, the Corn Festival, Light Parade, Pet Palooza, and even more examples of the popular festivals in Somerton. The Tamal Festival is one of the biggest festivals in Somerton that attracts thousands of visitors each year. In the festival, you can enjoy music, dance, and buy some appetizing food. In my opinion, sweet corn tamal is super tasty. In conclusion, Somerton has a lot to offer for the community and visitors. Mark on your calendar the next events happening in Somerton. We hope to see you soon and enjoy the fun during the festival. Thank you.
If I can have a picture with Stephanie and her family. One with her and then one with them. At the count of three, 1, 2, 3. Cheese, 1, 2, and 3. Cheese, okay, Mom. Sister, no. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Cheese. One more. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Thank you.
She was quick to leave out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did read her essay and then the newspaper. But her, she forgot to mention she's got the best counsel. And, you know. We have another presentation, the presentation on all matters relating to West Somerton Master Plan.
Mayor, Council, good evening. Charles Gutierrez, Public Works Director. Tonight, we have J2 Engineering Environmental Design, Shane Hanneman, who will be presenting an update on the West Somerton Master Plan. It's going to talk about a brief history of how the project has progressed, some of the milestone concept plans, how the council input was received and acted upon, and a brief explanation of the vision that last architects engaged into what makes Somerton unique. And without further ado, Mr. Shane Hanneman.
Hi, Council, Mayor. I'm Shane Hanneman. I'm with J2 Design, and I represent Last Architects and J2 in the development of the West Somerton Master Plan. I'm really excited to be here tonight because I can tell you that the results of this are a result of your input and staff's input. It really is a vision that Somerton engaged us in. And our job was to take the vision that you had and apply it. So what we did was we started out last, worked on this over a year ago with you folks. He invited they invited you to talk about what Somerton is, what the identity of Somerton is. And you folks did an exercise and really helped us to understand what Somerton is about. So let's go to the next slide. You'll remember, let's keep going. And there we go. So we did an exercise, it's been months ago now, I think it was in March, where folks from council and mayor and staff got together and we split up into teams and did 2 different concepts. And our goal from those concepts was to understand what you guys wanted in terms of program and how you wanted that oriented. So what we did was we took these and then we generated concepts. From that, we went into the next step. And I'm gonna make this quick, guys. So I'm not gonna go over 6 minutes or so. I know your time is valuable. So let's keep going here. And that's the second concept that should look familiar to you folks. Okay, keep going. Yeah, keep going. And this was the concept plan that we brought to you folks. What that includes is a fishing pond, an amphitheater area that can also double use as a U12, or I'm sorry, U10 soccer field, and a breakout event space, then a shelter with size available for your largest needs, and it can be a more modest approach from the beginning. And then a municipal pool area, a large playground, a group ramada area, and then parking that accommodated 250 vehicles. So as we advance here, you can see this transition. Now, let's keep going. This shows how our plan starts to lay out in those area usages. And let's keep going. And that's what you saw last month. And that is the program that you guys helped us to identify. And so what I wanted to do was speak just a moment on the vision, and let's scroll to the next one. This is where we discussed how curvilinear forms of the land as it resides with water and with agriculture laid over it. So you've got this interesting juxtaposition of different land or different circles and straight lines. The quotes that we have down there are what we presented to you last time. I'm not going to read through those again. And as a result, let's keep going. This is the result of the identity of Somerton, and I'm going to go to the movie, and the program elements combined. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let this run through, and I don't have an arrow. There we go. Thank you. So here we go. I'll add that next time. We heard you. I don't care about the rest of the I need to play music. Oh, that's not- There. I'm going to back it up here just a little bit. Looks like a lot. So it looks like it's delaying. So we didn't miss too much. What it did is showed a concert. You can see an amphitheater shell in the back. So that area can be utilized for not only soccer, but also events and for concerts. So that's what we heard from you folks in terms of what we would want to see. So let's go back to, there we go. And let's go to the next slide. This is the plan view of what you just saw. There's no surprises there. It's basically what you folks saw last month. And then we've got a series of still images of that 3D animation that we just took you through, and those are the next 3 slides. I'm not going to go through each one of those, but you folks will have those handy just in case you don't have the animation in front of you. You are able to take a look and see what we did. So let's go to the last slide. I told you I'd be quick. And basically, it all starts with the lake. The lake is the foundation. It's the pillar of West Somerton Master Plan. Everything builds around that. So what you saw there can be added in segments. This is a long-term plan. We realize that and understand that, but the lake sets the table for you. And everything can come in behind that. So this is what you folks provided to us. It's your vision. We were just the ones who kind of put it together for you. So that's all I've got, folks.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question, Mayor. Mayor, can you put it? Can you go to page 13? No, 13 on the PDF file. There, more. They're right there. You know, great visual, great video. I think it really, it awes me. You know, it was like, wow, you know, our residents, this would be great here. But I'm just wondering over here at the top where it says road access, I see that the parking lots don't connect. Is there a reason why we didn't do that?
That's interesting that you bring that up, Councilperson. So what happens is you've got the high school that is right adjacent to it. And that could be a shortcut that goes through the parking lot right by your playground and into that road. So it's a safety issue. It's not gonna, I wouldn't say that's gonna destroy the concept if you don't. It's just something that you folks should consider if you were to connect it. I've seen it happen before, but that's the caution that I would give you.
Mayor, if I may. And just to remind Mayor and Council that, you know, it's Toro Avenue now, that is going to be, that road will go directly into the high school, which ends at the knuckle there. And so if you're going to the high school, you're going to the park, those are 2 destinations. So like Shane mentioned, if you're going there, that's where you're going. If we open it up, that's a loop there, which again, we're always open to that. But that was one of the things that we were just wanting to make sure that the people know that that's, you know, because we're on the west side, we're just not sure what's going to be developed there yet. So in the future, if there's something else that might be beneficial for that open and right way, I think that could easily be done. So.
You can do tables, you know, where you slow traffic down and come back down. There's all kinds of traffic calming that you can do if that's a preference.
I just want to note that this is amazing. So if I win the lottery, I'm going to start it immediately. But I just do want to make a note that I feel that the lake is quite large. I would like to see more ramadas instead of the lake being so large. But it's beautiful. And I mean, you know, thank you for my Olympic pool but I just feel that the lake is it's a little too large for my liking. I would like to see more ramadas. That's all I have.
And Mayor, if I may, Shane, if you could address that with the
Sure.
size and the volume of what was
It's,
needed.
it's a very good point. So what that lake is sized for, it's sized specifically. And the reason it is sized the way it is because it is used as an irrigation reservoir. It's used as an irrigation reservoir for the high school, for Paracone Park, and for this park. And that is the minimum size that we would suggest for a lake or a pond that is also used for irrigation. That's the primary purpose of the pond right now. So we've actually shrunk it from the original concept down to the minimum that we would suggest using for that.
So this is the minimum then?
This is the minimum that we would suggest. And it's for operational purposes.
And again, I just want to point out that we do have a development agreement with the high school to provide that water. So, but again, you know, it's a lake. And Shane, I don't know if you could go a little bit more about the depth,
Sure.
and
So-
why it's what it is.
Yeah, so it's interesting, the site itself, the groundwater, if you folks remember, we went through an exercise that lasted several months to do what's called piezometer readings, and that reads the depth of groundwater. So the groundwater here is somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 to 15 feet. So what we want to do is when we develop, we want that lake to have some sort of clearance, right, from that groundwater. You don't want to go right up against it. We want about a 5-foot buffer. And so with our geotechnical engineer, our civil engineer, and some research that we did, we determined that the lake elevation should be no more than 10 feet deep. So the lake, or the pond size is 3.6 acres. The depth is 10 feet, that it does slope down. It provides enough storage capacity to do that irrigation. So what happens is, the reason why it has to be that surface area is that when you draw down the lake to irrigate, we have a shelf. And that shelf, that drawdown is designed so that it can store 3 days worth of water in the summer. Once you get beyond 3 days, you start to draw down to the actual liner itself, which long-term is not recommended. So that's the whole reason why the lake, the pond is designed to the size that it is. Does that help, Louis? Does that provide enough clarification?
Yes, thank you. And again, what Shane mentioned is, you know, if we could have gone, you know, 15 feet or deeper, then the volume, at least the size could have been smaller. But with the capacity that's needed, the millions of gallons that's needed for the high school, for that park, and also Paracone, that's the size. Again, we can look at that option if you'd like us to try to make it smaller. But this is where we're just trying to comply with what the need is and what we have to work with.
The Olympic pool, is it the measurements for a high school to have the competitions and other schools to come and compete? Is that what it is for?
Yes.
That's the recommended size?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Councilperson. It was recommended to us that Continental and Yuma would be a model to look at, and they do have a pool of that size. So what you're seeing there is a reflection of that, and it is a
Competition.
competition pool. Thank you, Lily. And it does have, you can zoom in. We've got pictures of it, but you know, you can have it have a deep end with diving boards and stuff like that too.
Thank you.
And that's a schematic right now, right? We didn't get into in-depth design of the municipal pool. What we're showing here is that it can work.
The 10-foot depth of the pond, is that gonna be visible from the street, or is it gonna be elevated?
Yes, sir. This is the good news. Based upon that delay that we asked for to get those piezometer readings, we were able to figure out that we could sink the lake deeper than we originally thought, based upon historic data that we were able to get, but it was regional data. But by pausing and getting that site-specific data, we knew that we could sink the lake a little bit more.
Okay.
So what you're gonna get is probably almost eye level. It might be just a hair above, but you will be able to view it based upon the information that we are able to claim.
Any other questions or comments?
I just have a comment on the pond. When you showed the video, it does have, I guess, fencing around, but there's some areas. My concern are the small children. We've had an incident in this pond here, so maybe I don't know. I didn't see as far as what kind of fencing it was, but that's just my concern. Is it all the way around? Can we do it all the way around?
It's a very valid concern. We design parks throughout the Southwest, and that is a topic that comes up often. What you see where the fencing is located, that's in the fish drop area. And the reason for that is that we have to have a wall that's deeper, right? A vertical wall. And the reason for that is they shoot the fish out, right? They'll knock their heads and get knocked out or die, right? So we put a fence there because there's no recovery area. So what you see, the lakes that we design, you've got a 10-foot strip that is only 18 inches deep. And then it goes down slope after that. So it is a recovery area. Plus, where the playground and where that fish drop is at is surrounded by fence. You can't see it from that illustration, but you'll see some snapshots in there where we do enclose the playground with that because of its close proximity.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you.
It's been a true pleasure, folks.
Yeah, oh, that's great. Okay, right now it's a conceptual plan. I don't even want to ask.
Mayor, if I may.
Estimated, I'd say at least 22 million. But at least.
So like you start working on
Grant.
from the 0.8 or something.
If I may.
Yes.
I just want to point out, what Shane presented, of course, is like the councilwoman said, incredible and great. And so what we're working on is with this master plan is be able to start being able to look for funding sources. And so that's why, we have the grant writer. And so we're gonna start as this is completed and those the infrastructure and the pond are shovel ready. We'll start working on the other ones with the design and so forth. Again, going back to you and, like Shane mentioned, there is, the modesty and the Taj Mahal of these designs. And so we'll bring that back to you so you understand what we're looking at for the future. So I just want to kind of let you know that, the first phase of this is going to be the pond, like mentioned, because we want to move that forward. But then from there, again, from direction from council and funding opportunities and so forth, we'll move forward.
We have the shelter budgeted too. So.
Right, we have the shelter budget and other things, but again, prices always are increasing every year, so we have to look at that. And I just want to remind Mayor and Council that this master plan does not include the design of the shelter. That still needs to be done, and that's something that we'll bring back to Mayor and Council to look at. And then, of course, all the other amenities and things like that as we move forward. This is a work in progress, but I know everybody would like to see this in a couple of years. So we're going to work hard at hopefully finding the different funding opportunities for those amenities that you saw.
Third presentation, Somerton Cocopah Fire Department Ambulance Services.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm going to be presenting a second quarter ambulance billing presentation for fiscal year 2024. So for the second quarter, which consists of October November, and December of 2023. We had a total of 658 incidents. Out of those, 399 were EMS related. 259 were what we considered fire related, could be fire alarms, public assist, lift assist. Out of 399, we had 353 that were actually ambulance transports, and then we had 46 that were non-transports. Those 46 non-transports were 37 patient refusals, 3 DOAs, which means dead on arrival, and then 6 mutual aid, meaning that we responded with either the squad or the engine, and we had to have rural metro, San Luis, or City of Yuma come in and transport that patient. For those patients, we do not actually bill. It would be the responding agency. Out of the 353 transports that we did have, 197 were from our Able 1 and 156 for our Able 2. Next slide. So from October 2023 to December of 2023, Somerton Cocopah Fire Department responded to 46 EMS calls that resulted in non-transports. Out of those 46 calls, 37 were refusals, 3 were DOAs, and 6 were mutual aid. All calls except mutual aids are responded by a squad and an ambulance that is staffed for 1 paramedic and 1 EMT per vehicle. On average, non-transport calls do not exceed 1 hour of patient and staff interaction. So out of those 46 calls, like I said, 37 were refusals, 3 were DOAs, and 6 were mutual aid. It costs $120.88 to send out a fully staffed ambulance and squad vehicle on a call that results in a refusal or a DOA. Mutual aid calls only require a squad vehicle, and the cost is $60.44 to send out. On my last presentation, I was asked a question that approximately how much does it cost us to respond to a call where we don't actually transport? So here's a breakdown. Our average paramedic pay is $19.25. Our EMT is $16.50. The state approved mileage rate of 1 mile is $19.69. And then we prorated the vehicle maintenance fee, which includes a wear and tear and actually fuel, which is $5, which is equal $60.44. Since we do respond with 2 units, that's $120.88. Out of the 40 refusals and DOAs, that's $128 times 40. And then out of the 6 mutual aids, that's 60/44 equals $5,197.84. That's what actually an average that we're spending on the refusals or those incidents where we respond, we didn't actually transport. Next slide, please. So our ambulance billing updates for second quarter. And the second quarter, we billed out $488,357.08. Out of that, we paid out $186,402.04. And then we have the adjusted amount of $136,482.77. The adjusted amount is because every time we bill out, we don't get 100% of that bill. There's some rates that Medicare, Medicaid, Access actually pay us. So that's the adjusted amount. So far for this second quarter, it's a 66% completed rate that we actually have sent bills and everything out. And then the reimbursement rate for that second quarter is 58%. So next slide. One of the questions that was asked also in my last presentation, if we could break it down from a single unit. So 56% of the billings was from Able 1 and 44% was from Able 2. And here you can see the amounts per each unit. Next slide.
So you have paid out and adjusted. So how much money is coming back?
That's my next slide, Mayor. So here, cash receiving refers to the actual amount of money that it was received and processed via direct deposit checks, credit cards, and cash. These monies are allocated to their corresponding account receivables period. So for example, in this period, we're still receiving money that was from either 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, and any other billings that we have done that we're still getting. But for this second quarter, we have received $185,250.03. And that's the actual money that has been received this second quarter. Next slide. Any questions?
Any questions or comments?
Just have a quick,
Yes.
what is lift assist?
So lift assist is, for example, when an elderly patient that has fallen from their bed, from the wheelchair, They call 911, we'll respond, help them, lift them up, put them in bed, back into wheelchair, and then we cancel, we go back to the station. So that's. I'm sorry?
So that adds up to that no time.
Correct. Yes, those public assist and all that. Any other questions?
And-
Yes, sir.
And on the coding, do we have are we sending those bills monthly or? Because in the
Yes.
past, we had that, it was a year later, and I don't know if Medicare Access pays.
No,
after a year.
as of right now, we're current. We have two staff. We have Aide, which is a full-time employee, and then we have Sonia, which is a part-time. And like I said, as soon as the billings are coming in, they're being sent within the next day. There's a process period where we get a response from the insurance companies. And that's, like I said, the previous slide where the accounts receivable, how much we're gonna be getting back, and then what we actually get back. But as of right now, we're up to date. We're current with all the billing.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes. Come up, please.
Finance Department. I do have access to all of their billing software.
Okay.
So I do log in and check to make sure that the billing is being completed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
I just want to point out to Mayor and Council, if there's anything that you would like detailed on or information on the report that you didn't see this time, we kind of went off the information or the direction that you provided last meeting. We want to do this quarterly. If you want to do it in a different timeframe, we just look for your direction and I can work with the chief if there's something different or anything that you would like to see in specific.
Thanks. Gonna move on to new business. Discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2024-006.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Javier Hernandez, Fire Chief. I applied for a grant through the Arizona Governors of Highway Safety. I'm applying for a device which is used for electric vehicles. As we know, they're becoming more popular and we're seeing them more on the highways. And there's incidents when the battery catches fire and to extinguish that battery, it's very difficult. And a lot of times that vehicle can burn for hours and we can put water and it's just gonna take forever. So there's this new device that you put underneath the vehicle. It punctures the battery cell casing and it actually puts water in there. Currently, there's nobody in Yuma County that has that device. So I put a grant through the Arizona Governor's Highway Safety, and they required that we create a resolution and allowing me to apply for their grant. The total would be for approximately around $35,000. And that's what I'm here today, just to ask for the resolution to apply for this grant.
Any questions or comments? Is there a motion? So motion by Councilwoman Delgadillo,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Galindo, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 2, discussion and possible action to approve the publication of notice of intent for holding 2 public meetings for the Alternative Expenditure Limitation, home rule.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, Chona Madell, Finance Director. I am here to get possible action to approve a public notification to intent for holding 2 public hearings regarding the city's intention to adopt the Alternative Expenditure Limitation known as the home rule. As you know, we always do home rule. Any city or town can adopt the Alternative Expenditure Limitation, commonly referred to as home rule option, that is free from any ties to the state imposed limitations. Under Article 9, Section 20, subsection 9, Arizona State Constitution. Home rule is adopted if a majority of the qualified elector votes in favor of the Alternative Expenditure Limitation issued at the regular city council. This notice of intent to hold 2 public hearings starts the process of extending home rule for another 4 years. If the city chooses not to ask voters to extend the alternative expenditure limitation, or if voters reject a renewal election, then the state imposed expenditure limitations may apply to the city beginning in the next fiscal year. So I'm proposing to be able to do a public hearing, a notification in the public newspaper for May the 7th, 2024 and May the 21st, 2024.
Any questions or comments? No. Is there a motion?
So move, Mayor.
It's a motion by Vice Mayor Galindo. Second by Councilwoman Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah, home rule is very important, just to educate the public what the consequences of it not being passed. And I know us as a city have certain, we only need to educate what the consequences are, but probably can't go and campaign either way, so. But it's important for the public to know what home rule is. Item number 3, discussion of possible action to reappoint Daniel Flores to the Somerton Planning and Zoning Commission.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. The item before you on the agenda is a request to reappoint Daniel Flores to the Somerton Planning and Zoning Commission. On March 8th, earlier this month, Mr. Daniel Flores submitted a letter of interest to community development staff requesting to be reappointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mr. Flores is currently the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and he has served on the commission for over 10 years. Mr. Flores is a lifelong Somerton resident with deep ties to the community and has decades of government service experience. He is one of the longest tenure on the Planning and Zoning Commission. So staff's recommendation for you tonight is to reappoint him to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Any questions or comments? What's the attendance of Mr. Flores in the Planning and Zoning Commission?
Mayor, Mr. Flores' attendance is very good. I can count all the times.
Can you expand on that?
Sure, yes, Mayor. I could count all the times he's been absent on one hand in the entire time that I've been here.
Because, well, yeah, prior to the meeting, I did request attendance for the commissioners, because that's important. But Mr. Flores, I know he's been there for years, but I think for any other, for in the future, give us the attendance breakdown so we can, at least, but yeah. Mr. Flores, thank you. You've been for years very active and special events and commission and everything. So I want to thank you for your interest in being again in the commission. Is there a motion to reappoint Mr. Flores?
So move, Mayor.
Second.
So motion by Vice Mayor Galindo, second by Councilman Castillo. In favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. And for future appointments, I'll make sure to provide an attendance roster for you.
Louis. Item number 4. Discussion possible action to reappoint Ronald Rice.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, this item before you on the agenda is a request to reappoint Ronald Rice to the Planning and Zoning Commission. On March 8th, Mr. Rice submitted his letter of interest to be reappointed to the Somerton Planning and Zoning Commission for an additional term. Mr. Rice is actually the vice chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Like Mr. Flores, he's also a lifelong Somerton resident with deep ties to the farming community here. He's a businessman, local businessman, and he's a very important member of the commission. Mayor and Council, Mr. Rice is not here. I did reach out to him and he indicated that he would be attending tonight. So tomorrow I'll be reaching out to see if the reason for his absence. But staff's recommendation, despite him not being here, would be for him to be reappointed to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
The question is, does he attend the Planning and Zoning Commission meetings?
Mayor, Mr. Rice does attend, except in the summertime where he leaves town for an extended period of time he has a vacation home up north. So during the summer months, he either does not attend, or when it's a very important meeting, he will join remotely.
Okay. Do we have certain guidelines for attendance on the commissions?
Nothing out of the ordinary, Mayor. It's your standard commission bylaws. I don't have that information exactly in front of me, but typically in the summer months, it tends to be the slower time, so it doesn't really affect us that much. We've been able to get by, still maintain quorum. I can't remember the last time we didn't have quorum. But I would have to look into that for you, Mayor.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Is there a motion?
So, Mayor.
So motion by Councilwoman Delgadillo. Second by Councilwoman Gonzalez, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Summary of current events.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. First, we will have, we'll just call Saul Albor back up, Community Development.
Mayor and Council, in Community Development, staff held a neighborhood meeting for the minor general plan amendment and rezoning request by YEPCO LLC related to the development of a new 120 unit apartment complex. So north of YEPCO, there's that 7.5 acre parcel along Main Street. They've applied for a minor general plan amendment and rezoning to develop a 120 unit apartment complex. We had the neighborhood meeting. We had one member of the community show up, had some concerns, but staff was able to address those, and so was the applicant. And that'll proceed to planning and zoning next month. And then secondly, staff received a second rezoning request by Western Sands Land, Inc. to rezone a 35.83 acre parcel from Ag 10 to R15. And this would be to accommodate the development of Las Estrellas Phase 8. The conceptual plan submitted shows 200 lots. And then Mayor and Council, I just want to clarify one thing for the record on my, at the previous work session that we held, I mentioned that we lost a vehicle, the Camry, to administration, when in fact, my memory serves me, I voluntarily requested to transfer it to administration because we needed a larger vehicle. So I do apologize for the confusion, but just wanted to clear that up for the record.
Unacceptable.
I know I wasn't going to be able to sleep at night if I didn't tell you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next, Chief Juarez.
Mayor and Council, good evening. Araceli Juarez, Chief of Police. I was ready to take a police report on that stolen vehicle. So we had our adult academy, we had it planned for March 14. And unfortunately, we only had 2 applicants. We did reach out to the community. I announced it here at the podium at least a month before in 2 occasions. We sent information through social media. We announced it through the radio, and it wasn't possible. So we're gonna go ahead and postpone it, but we're still gonna reach out and get hopefully a good number of people that can attend. I just also want to remind the public, we have seen a lot of people riding their bikes diagonally on Main Street. And it's very important that with the pickup of traffic, that everybody considers the laws that you cannot be jaywalking on the streets, and hopefully we can prevent some of the accidents that could happen if people are riding, not using the crosswalks. And the last thing I would like to announce, Mayor and Council, is that on March 22nd, between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m., we will be having we went ahead and coordinated or partnered up with Jack in the Box, and they'll be donating 20% of their incoming of all the sales of that night to the Somerton Police Explorer Program. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, when is this, Jen?
On March 22nd from 6 PM to 10 PM.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we'll be sending that info out to, as a reminder, Andrea will send that invite out to mayor and council, so you have that on your calendar. Charles Gutierrez, Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In the street division, we are doing the crack seal on Bingham, preparing for the pavement preservation program. On the water side, if you notice, the tank has the 4th level. The Paso Robles tank is preparing. The roof will be starting here pretty soon. The welds will be inspected this week. On the wastewater side, this week, wastewater will switch over to another clarifier to start maintenance on the 2nd clarifier, and we'll just keep continually doing maintenance in the wastewater. Thank you.
And then Parks and Rec, Rodney.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Rodney Reinhardt, Interim Parks and Rec Director. This past Saturday, we had our annual Greater Days Parade. The morning was really great. We had 34 participants or were entries in the parade. We had quite a few people along the streets. And then after the parade, we had the cake cutting ceremony here in front of City Hall. And then later in the evening, we had the food festival. We had, we had 40 food vendors there, but about 2 hours into the event, the weather took a turn on us, so we had to cancel it. We had one band that performed and the other 2 did not due to the equipment's too wet and they wouldn't fire up the audio or anything because of safety reasons. So we'll try it again next year. So, but that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney. We have nothing further, Mayor.
There's no one remote, right? The council members, or no? Okay. No, Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Just wanted to commend Parks and staff that were this Saturday at the Greater Days events. Like Rodney said, parade went awesome. Weather was beautiful. But later on in the evening, you know, it did take a turn, but you know, they they plowed through it. Unfortunately, we can't, you know, fight with Mother Nature. So, but it was well attended for the most part of it. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys and commend you guys for sticking it through through the whole event. Thank you.
Councilwoman Castillo. Councilwoman Castillo. You're in the middle of them. It's just what happens in Tesopacos.
I just want to thank all staff for, you know, for the hard work and you know, planning that rear gate parades and everything. The dance was awesome. You know, so I really enjoyed watching it. Like the Western theme, you know, and like Mayor mentioned right now, this past weekend, we visited our sister city in Rosario, and I'll let the mayor give his input on that. I don't.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so, oh, you know what? I mean, I think it served a great opportunity. We saw some of the things that they, how they run a couple of things. You know, we brainstorm on how we could bring some of those ideas here, especially with the interaction and mingling with constituents. I mean, it was looked very different, but I mean, at the same time seemed so basic. So, you know, I mean, it was we all it was a great learning experience. I think for us, it gives us that opportunity to, you know, to kind of look at you know, the culture and how the diversity that we have here, how we can just combine it and enhance it, you know. So you know, I think it was tiring, you know. It was, you know, it was tiring, but I think it was well worth it. That's all I have, man.
Councilwoman Delgadillo.
I also attended the Greater Days Parade and the Food Festival, and I'm going to echo what Councilwoman Gonzalez stated. Thank you so much to Parks and Valeria and her staff and Jasmine and her staff. Everybody did an awesome job. Like she said, we can't fight Mother Nature, and the wind was awful and the rain. It was just upsetting, and was looking forward to it, but I'm hoping that, we can bring those bands back, hopefully for the Chelada Fest or 4th of July. A lot of the community members were looking forward to that. So thank you so much for the hard work. Everybody that helped and participated, PD, fire, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. That's all I have.
Vice Mayor Galindo.
No, nothing, Mayor, thank you.
I also want to thank staff for all their hard work, leading up to the event, all the videos that were coming out, all the promotion was great. But unfortunately, it's the weather but even before I went to Lermas, and he was happy about the Western team, and it's just the impact that this events have. He said that he was getting a lot of sales for hats, and he just thanked the city for having it a Western team. So, it little things, collateral benefits that these events have, and unfortunately didn't pan the way it was planned. But so around this time, it happens with the events. Remember one year we had it at the Paracone, got rained out, and all the rides were buried in water. So, it happens, but thanks for all your hard work. The sister city, we went to Tesopaco, Sonora, and it was great. The event that they have is just, it's all regionally. There's a lot of things that we can cooperate with them. We were able to meet a lot of the tourism folks from the state of Sonora, and diplomats were there, and it was election season, so we got to meet a lot of them, and they want to start. They don't have they're maybe an hour away from the closest city, and they don't have a fire department. That's something they want to start, and because they're in the middle, like there's no other city. They're small, like little ranches, but that's important for them, and us that have kids and with chronic conditions can understand just the what it means. So that's something that they do have they started an ambulance, but yeah, they don't have a fire department. So that's probably something that we can cooperate, and hopefully they can come to one of our events with their team, and we can show them around and just have different ideas. It was really good. And also we had a retreat with talking about the strategic plan, and we had the survey, and something that came up as far as approachability is maybe we can have, like, in police department and fire department, they have the pancakes with the cop, and maybe we can have like an evening with council, just informal, invite the residents to come and talk to us in a informal setting. Maybe we can have some hot dogs or something, and maybe do it around this time, now that we're kicking off our strategic planning, and hear from them directly, and hopefully they can come. So maybe if you have any ideas, talk to Louis and see what we can do. That's all I have. It's 8:05, meeting's adjourned.